Hey, for today, I want to talk about the concept of multiple streams of income. And this is I think, a key in obtaining financial independence. And certainly for most people who desire a particular lifestyle design, most of the time, it's going to require multiple streams of income. Not always. But here's something that's interesting is when you look at millionaires, right? You look at millionaires, self-made millionaires. They, on average, they have multiple streams of income. I mean, you'll hear it said like, okay, they have 7, they have, this, they have that. Bottom line is, there's no question that the average, let's just say above 50%, have multiple streams of income, okay? And I'd say, because, there's a lot of different data out there, but I'd say at least 3, okay? Let's just say at least 3. So it'd be helpful to explore some of the different types of income and how, even if you're not a millionaire, you're not close, doesn't matter. The key here is develop multiple streams of income. So let's talk about that. We have earned income. Okay, earned income, and that's typically what the average American, how they make their money. They work a job. Okay, even as a contractor, right? So you're getting paid as a contractor, still earned income. However, there is a difference when you look at, man, I got some serious trail work to do. Okay, so earned income from a job, that's how most of us make our money, or at least primarily. And the problem with that is that you're trading your time and effort, and it can be somewhat limited, right? So if somebody makes $25 an hour, and let's say they work 10 hours a day, that's $250 a day, and they work 5 days a week, right? You can do the math, right? It's what, $1,250 a week. It's about $60,000 a year, right? You're trading your time, your effort, and you're limited, right? But that's how most people make their money, okay? Now, self-made millionaires, a lot of them will obviously have earned income, but they will have other sources of income as well. So that's a good lesson for us. Now, there's another kind of income called profit income, which is similar, but there's some key differences. So similar in that it's basically business income, right? You own a business, you're a small business owner, and you get paid from the business, profit from the business, whether it's a product, service, whatever the case. And here's a huge difference. Huge is as earned income, as income from a job, we work, we trade our time, our effort, we pay taxes, and then we get paid, and then we pay our expenses, right? That's how it works. Here's the difference. You own your own business, you trade your time and effort, right? If you're working directly in the business, as in someone who's self-employed. But after trading that time and effort, in the meantime, what you're doing is you're paying expenses, right? Paying expenses. And then that difference is what you're taxed on, okay? So key difference. As an employee, you pay taxes, then expenses. As a business owner, you pay expenses, then taxes. Okay, can be a huge advantage. This is why, and the IRS doesn't like this. Somebody who works in their own business and they pay themselves a small salary, right? They pay themselves $40,000 a year to manage something. Well, they don't like that. They say that's not indicative of what someone in your position should make, etc. Well, the reason they don't like it ultimately is they collect less money, right? So you got to be careful of that stuff. All right. So besides earned income, profit income, what are some other types? This is where it gets, I think, really good. Okay, a couple more types would be interest and dividends. Okay, so what's that? Interest, obviously, interest income. If you put your money in a bank, you get paid interest, almost nothing these days because of artificially low interest rates that don't even keep up with inflation. So that's a terrible idea. But an example would be interest from bonds, right? Because ultimately what you're doing is you're lending money, or if you directly lend money, whether it's through some of these peer-to-peer sites or in some other manner. Okay, I'll give you an example. So in real estate, there's something called and this is the same case for people who invest in businesses or lend money to businesses. It's what we call basically like a hard money loan. And generally it's short term. Maybe it's 6 months, a year, 18 months. Generally those are the types of the lengths. Okay, but it'd be at a higher interest rate. So like in real estate, for example, investors, they try and get hard money loans, whether they're going to fix and flip a house, they want to buy a rental and then get it going or whatever, and then refinance it. Call that a BRRRR strategy. So they'll borrow money, right, either for a down payment or for repairs, etc. And they might do it at 10% interest. Okay, but again, short term, right? And if it pencils out, makes sense for the investor that's doing the real estate as well. Okay, but the lender is getting 10% interest. Okay, that'd be interest income. Dividends, very typical blue chip type stocks as an example. Hey, honey. Where they give quarterly dividends or annual dividends, and that is taxed differently, right? Okay, so that would be interest and dividends. Okay, so let's talk about a couple more. So we have rental income. Okay, I like this a lot. Okay, rental income. All right, this could be anything from like residential or commercial. If you own an asset, you rent it out, right? You rent out a commercial building, you rent out a residential single-family home, multi-family home. I'd say a duplex or a quadplex, whatever, right? And then that income is taxed as rental income. So it's different, right? There's no payroll taxes associated with it, etc. Like some of the other stuff. Plus, again, you can pay your expenses first, then you pay taxes. Okay, so there's an advantage there, and it doesn't have to be where you buy a single family home and rent it out. People are doing this all over the place. They're renting out, their bonus room above the garage. They're putting it on Airbnb or Booking.com or whatever. Okay, so rental income. Okay, and it could be you have to get creative. Maybe you have a shop, and you can rent out half the shop to someone who's maybe they have a side hustle. Okay, so that type of income is important to understand. Okay, and then finally, we've got capital gains and royalties, capital gains and royalties. So capital gains, basically when you buy an asset, it goes up over time, right? That difference is capital gains, right? So you buy a single family home, you bought it in 2009 for $175,000, and you've lived in it for whatever amount of time, and today it's worth $425,000, and you sell it, and that difference is capital gain, and then you're taxed on that differently than other income. Okay, and then there's other things that you can do. There's 1031 exchanges, where if you roll those capital gains into another property, I mean, there's, you have to understand the tax implications of everything that I'm saying. So that part you have to look up, get a tax attorney, get a CPA to help navigate that. Because remember, taxes are the number one expense. So we want to minimize that legally as much as possible. All right, so capital gains, and that real property, stocks, cryptocurrencies, etc. Okay, so like Bitcoin, for example, right? You buy Bitcoin. If you bought Bitcoin in 2011, which I was contemplating doing, but decided ultimately not to because I didn't understand it at the time. I really wish that I would have. I was literally looking at it when it was like, $3 a Bitcoin. And I didn't do that. Okay. Anyway, but if somebody buys Bitcoin at $5,000 and now it's worth $30,000, ultimately they are, that difference, if they sell it, is a capital gain. Okay. According to the IRS, capital gain, right? So according to the IRS, Bitcoin's an asset. Okay, which I believe as well. Okay, so those are different types of income streams, right? Cash flow streams. Here's the bottom line: develop multiple streams of income. Develop multiple streams of income, and develop multiple streams of income across those categories. Okay, so again, it's not like, say you work a job, and then you have a side hustle. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a really good step. It's a really good step. Okay, and I highly recommend it. But that's all earned income, right? Now it is a little bit different, right? You see, there's some profit there. If you have a side business, right, you get to expense things out and then pay taxes, then pay yourself. Okay, but your job income is you get taxed, then you get paid, then you pay your expenses. All right. So there's nothing wrong with that. But again, that's kind of like almost like one category, right? What you really want to look for is, how can I get some of these other streams of income which are more passive, right? Now, maybe your side hustle turns into more like a business where you're the business owner as opposed to being self-employed. Very good, right? So like we're starting to move in the right direction there. Or you say, like, you know what? We got this extra room. Let's put this on Airbnb. And we're gonna derive some rental income, right? Or maybe, right, you're gonna create some kind of product. Maybe you're a really good at photography, and you're gonna provide some stock photos and earn some passive income in the form of royalties. Okay, so like that's really diversifying your income streams and setting yourself up. I'm gonna walk back this way for success, and we don't want to just trade our time and effort for money. We want passive sources of income as well. All right, so I'll leave it there. I want to real quickly just touch on my course. I'm getting ready to launch it very soon. I'm excited about it because I think it's going to be very good, and it's going to help people. And it's filled with basically a systemized approach to becoming financially independent. Lots of action steps. Anyway, more to follow on that. So go ahead and stay tuned, subscribe, hit that bell icon, like this video so we can get it in front of other people if you found it helpful, and let me know what you think. All right.